What's all people? I'm on the big screen. How about that? I literally see myself. I'm right there. I'm right there. I'm pointing to myself. Dude, that's kind of crazy. So yeah, this is a physics final project. And why not integrate physics into something we all know, like video games? We all play video games. So I chose the game none other than Fortnite itself. Yes, that game, like, I don't know who plays it anymore, but I don't. But yeah. So you might call me weird, but there is physics concepts in Fortnite. Like, a lot of them actually, which like makes them semi-realistic. Now I know the building scene is not like realistic at all, but I can tell you what is. Fall damage is very important to games, and it's a piece where a little bit of realism takes place in the games. As you can see,
His turbo building is too strong.
it's usually not fun. Well, fall damage occurs when you start from a high place and then jump or fall off of it from a certain distance. Some might ask, I don't know who, why does someone fall? Why don't they just like float forward? Well, it's one word: gravity. Yes, the thing that keeps us on this planet without flying off into the endlessness of space. Gravity was implemented into the game to add some realism to it. It might not be the same as on Earth, but it most definitely pulls you toward the ground. It even pulls weapons too. If you ever played Fortnite, you know probably there's a lot of items in the game that make the games more interesting. One of those items was the impulse grenade. It was an item that if you threw it at someone or yourself, they would be propelled in a direction that basically, it gave a lot of force. It like launched them, as seen here.
No.
Bye, Ben!
Well, the workings of this item have to do with gravity and impulse, so it kind of mixes together into one. When it's thrown, it lands, and then beeps, and then bam, you're being sent 20 meters into the air, or from wherever you were. That jolt of energy that propels you all at one point is the impulse of the grenade. Did you notice that even the impulse's path included gravity? Attention to detail, alright? Number 3 and 4, kinetic and potential energy. Let's go into a tall structure for this one. So both of these correlate with one another, and just at different points of time. At rest, on top of the structure, there's a lot of potential energy. The energy isn't exerted until I fall off of here. And now in free fall, the potential energy was converted into kinetic energy since I'm in motion. Potential energy is basically what I could be exerting, but I'm not. Kinetic energy is finally exerting that energy and putting it into force. Number 5, force of tension. This one might be a bit of a stretch, but it does explain the concept well. In the game, there's an item that allows the player to grapple up to somewhere higher up. When you use this item, the character releases a plunger attached to a rope that sticks to its targeted area, then launches the player to that point due to tension. The rope retracts, making the tension tighter, forcing the player to follow that path. Number 6, air resistance. One of the main things in Fortnite is the use of gliders. Gliders allow the player to have a slow descent instead of plummeting to the ground. As the player is in free fall, the player is allowed to pull out the glider and basically aim where they wanted to land. The glider catches the air, and as it catches the air, it slows the fall. The act of the air slowing the fall is proving that air resistance isn't Fortnite. Think of it as like a parachute, like in reality. Number 7, friction. Now there is friction in Fortnite being proved by not being able to slide like all the way across the map, but there is an exception, the chiller grenade. When this item is thrown, it blasts a cold puff of ice and snow, freezing the player's feet, making them frictionless. As you stroll around the map going down hills, it makes the player gain speed due to the player not being able to touch the ground and be frictionless. Ice, in reality, is like this too. When a car reaches a patch of ice as it's driving, it will slide with the same momentum it started with and keep on going until it gets stopped by something else. Which actually brings us into number 8, Newton's first law. I think we've all heard of objects in motion stay in motion unless acted upon like an outside force. Well, that's true in Fortnite too. Let's go back to the icy feet. Let's say we're still sliding in a straight line in the game. The player won't stop moving unless the ice melts or we hit a wall, which defines the concept well. Same thing with falling. When the player falls, they won't stop falling until they reach a point or hit the ground. Fortnite, as well as many other games, explain the physics concept well, almost showing like the realism within it. But overall, this is most definitely not the greatest example of showing physics. I think real life is, because that's where physics came from. And that's it. Thanks for watching.